Hello Real Estate, George here, a unit manager from Philippine Homes and a PRC accredited and DHSCD registered salesperson. So heto na naman tayo for our reaction video. And from a farm lot ay pupunta naman tayo sa beach. Bakit beach? Did you know that according to DENR's Land Management Bureau, the Philippines, being an archipelago, has one of the longest shoreline in the world. We are talking about a coastline of approximately 36,289 kilometers long. Here's another one. Did you know that almost 60% of our country's total population resides in the coastal zone? And 70% of the total municipalities and cities are located in the coastal zone. And I'm sure meron kayo mga tito jokes nung bata pa kayo kung gaano kayo kagaling mangbitag ng alimango, or paano kayo tumatakas para lang maligo sa dagat, or paano nyo pinagaling ang tuli nyo. So, in this video, let's feature one of the biggest private white sand beach resort here in the Philippines, and one that is owned by a famous politician, a philanthropist, a real estate investor, a family-oriented, God-fearing individual, not to mention, same kami ng birthday, and of course, a world-famous athlete. Sino nga ba ito? Oh, ito, additional tip.
From Sarangani Province, Philippines, the five-time world champion, currently recognized as pound for pound, the best fighter in the world, Manny Pacquiao.
Wow, nakaka-proud talaga maging Pilipino. Now, we will be looking at the resort from a real estate perspective. Ano-ano nga ba ang advantages, disadvantages, at misconceptions of a beach property? Now, the Pacquiao Private Resort was constructed about 8 years ago and has a lot area of 3.4 hectares. And I am almost sure that the value of the property in the neighboring area have increased dramatically. Wala namang other major developments in the area. At kahit sabi ng most real estate experts na location, 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 ang sabi naman ng mga katabing owner ng property, money, money, money. The resort is located in their hometown in Glan, a first-class municipality in the province of Sarangani, Philippines. Now let's watch the video. Just by looking at the property, you can immediately see the white sand beach, and the beachfront is very wide. So no-brainer talaga na kinuha nila ang property na ito.
Hi guys! Welcome back again to my channel. At ngayon, nandito tayo sa aming private resort. Welcome to the Villa 1!
Okay, so let's pause here. So there are a few structures. There is the Pacquiao main house, the big hall which Madam Jinky calls the bulwagan, the pool, and the two single detached houses they call Villa 1 and Villa 2.
Natin una ang Villa 1.
And if you look at the layout, para siyang apartment type.
Tama lang siya for
2 rooms sa baba.
Hi, dito sila. Hello! Say hi to my vlog. Ayan, hello. Kaya kung may nag-drive sa van.
And 2 rooms sa taas.
Hi! Say hi! Janet, buntis. Si Miss Buntis.
With an open space overlooking the beach.
Look at the view. Di ba? Ganda. Ayan.
I don't see any living room or dining area, so more like independent living lang. So to those not familiar, we have different house types. We have townhouses, and this is the type of house that share a wall on the side. Now the difference between a row house and a townhouse is that a row house is only 1 floor, while the townhouse are 2 or 3 stories. Then duplex. These are 2 houses sharing a wall and are usually bigger in floor area than townhouses. And lastly, single detached, which is what the Pacquiaos have. The single detached house is not connected from any side of the lot. It has no common walls and is built on its own parcel of land. And if it's just one level, single detached, it's called a bungalow. Now, Madam Jinky referred to their two single detached houses as villas. So what is a villa? Now, according to Merriam-D or the Merriam Dictionary, definition of villa is a country estate. Second is a rural or suburban residence of a wealthy person. And the third description is a detached or semi-detached urban residence with yard and garden spaces. So, yun pala. Kaya niya tinawag na villa.
Ito yung aming maliit na baluagan. Welcome. Hello. Hi.
Ma'am. Ako, ma'am.
Mag-hi mo sa vlog ko.
Hi, ma'am. Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Ano yun?
Hello, ma'am.
And there is a pool. Is a pool necessary when you have an amazing stretch of pristine white sand? I would say yes. It is an alternative, especially for small kids that you need to keep an eye on, or if the waves are big in the sea and there are a lot of jellyfish, or if you want night swimming or more privacy. So that's the purpose of the pool. Now let's discuss the beach. Let's continue with the video.
Naman natin yung parang gazebo na dyan din kami nagba-Bible study, minsan dyan kami nagdi-dinner, nagbe-breakfast kasi malapit masyado sa dagat. So, yun.
And this is where most of the misconceptions happen. A lot of people think that when they are offered a beach property, kasama na ang beach. Here's the fact. All beaches in the Philippines are owned by the state. So let's illustrate muna. Now there's what we call a foreshore. Now, a foreshore, let's say this is the coastal zone. And this is the lowest tide mark and this is the highest tide mark. Now this area from the lowest tide mark to the highest tide mark is what we call a foreshore. Okay? Now this line on the highest tide mark is what we call the shoreline. And this area from the highest tide mark up to the property, or depending on the zonal area, this is what we call the salvage area. Okay? And according to Article 51 of the Presidential Decree number 1067, otherwise known as the Water Code of the Philippines, a salvage zone is defined as the zone 3 meters in the urban areas, 20 meters in agricultural areas, and 14 meters in forest areas along their margins, subject to the easement of public use in the interest of recreation, navigation, floatage, fishing, and salvage. And no person is allowed to stay in this zone longer than what is necessary for recreation, navigation, floatage, fishing, or salvage, or to build structures of any kind. Now, if a real estate agent offers you a beach property showing the white sand beach, ask for the actual photos of the lot and yung actual setback. Now, you might have noticed that there is like a pile of rocks on the side of the property. So, let's say this is the shoreline. Okay, so this is their shoreline. Meron ditong parang may mga rocks and dito as well that extends to the sea. So these are what we call a jetty. A jetty is a structure of land that projects from land out into the water. Jetties protect the shoreline of a body of water by acting as a barrier against erosion from currents, tides, and waves. And jetties can also be used to connect the land with deep water further away from shore for the purposes of docking ships and unloading cargo. A pier is a type of jetty, but you cannot build a jetty right away. This structure needs environmental assessment and environmental clearance certificate or ECC from DENR before this can be initiated. Now let's look at the structure extending to the water.
Ay, gwapo na di ay siya, kayo ng cement na. Dati kasi wood siya, so ngayon Semento na.
Again, we said that all beaches are owned by the state. And if this is the case, what happened to this? There is a process that is called a foreshore lease application. The foreshore lease application is a type of application covering foreshore lands, marshy lands, and other lands bordering bodies of water for commercial, industrial, or other productive purposes other than agriculture. So the foreshore lease application or renewal shall be filed with the Community, Environment, and Natural Resources Office or CENRO, which has jurisdiction over the area. E paano kung gusto kong ako ang mag-lease ng beachfront ng mga Pacquiao? Is it possible? 500 pesos lang naman ang application fee if individual yung mag-apply. Now, according to Section 6 of the same administrative order, the owner of the property adjoining the foreshore or marshy lands or lands covered with water bordering upon the shores or banks of navigable lakes or rivers shall be given preference to apply within 60 days upon receipt of notice of preferential rights for such lands adjoining his property. So may priority ka if you are the owner of the adjoining land. At ang tawag sa owner of the property adjoining foreshore lands is riparian owner. And here are some of the government agencies that have jurisdiction of the foreshore areas as it relates to the construction built by this resort. Number 1 is DENR, the survey and management of alienable and disposable public land, issuance of leases and permits, and other matters of forestry, mining, and environmental concerns. Then we have the DPWH, over cases involving construction and developments along foreshore areas. We also have LGU, that regulate the use such as construction and building activities covered by the ordinances, prepare comprehensive land use plan, issue building permits. So in this case, the Pacquiaos coordinated with the DENR, CENRO for the foreshore lease application, with the DPWH for the construction, and with the local government or LGU for the building permit. And finally, what are the advantages and disadvantages of owning a beach property? Well, there are a lot, but I'll just mention a few. The first one is fresh catch available every day. You will have wider space if you include the beach and the sea, and you can do outdoor dining as well as exercise. It's also great as a vacation house or for rental investment. And there is nothing like waking up to the sound of the waves. And some of the disadvantages of a beach house is it has direct impact if there is a typhoon, like strong waves and strong winds. The houses will also have faster degradation because of the salt and more expensive to maintain, but of course, if you can afford it, why not? So, there you have it, and I hope you learned something new. Once again, this is George Ryan Sarmago, Unit Manager from Philippine Homes. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay at home, and peace.